Welcome back to the Overlander Outpost. There's a hard truth that most people don't realize until it's already a problem. The moment you key up a radio, you're not just talking, you're broadcasting your position, your movement, your presence. In a situation where systems are down or the environment becomes uncertain, that signal can become a liability just as fast as it becomes a tool. We've talked about what happens when the signal dies, but here's the next layer to that. What happens when using the signal is the problem. A true blackout, whether it's infrastructure failure, heavy interference, or just an environment where communication becomes unreliable, you can't depend on electronics the way most people are used to. Radios fail, frequencies get crowded, signals get blocked, and even when they work, they're not invisible. So the question becomes, how do you coordinate without saying a word? This is where things shift from convenience to discipline, because long before modern tech, people had to move, communicate, and operate without broadcasting anything at all. And those methods still work today. The first layer is simple: visual awareness and marking. Not bright, intentional identifiers. Something that lets you recognize your people without drawing attention from anyone else. Low profile indicators. Subtle placement. Things that only make sense if you know what you're looking for, because the goal isn't visible. Is movement-based communication. Body positioning, directional cues. Things that don't rely on sound or signal, just line of sight and understanding. But here's the catch. That only works if everyone is on the same page beforehand. Because in the moment, there's no time to explain. And that leads into something most people overlook completely: pre-planned communication. Instead of reacting and trying to talk through every decision, you build a system where actions are already understood. If this happens, we do this. If we move here, we regroup there. No discussion needed. It removes the need to communicate constantly, because the plan already exists. Then you start layering in tools. Not high-tech, complex systems, but simple, reliable ones. Things that work without noise. Light-based signals can be controlled and directed. Short-range indicators that don't. The idea isn't to add complexity, it's to maintain coordination without expanding your footprint. Because every time you rely on something that broadcasts outward, you increase your exposure. At this time, where most people get it wrong, they assume more communication is better. More radios, more devices, more connectivity. But in certain situations, because silence, when used correctly, isn't a disadvantage, it's control. Now let's bring this back to what we do. This is where this applies directly to both preparedness and overlanding. On the preparedness side, this is about operating when normal communication systems fail or it can't be trusted. Whether it's coordinating with family, a small group, or just maintaining awareness without drawing attention, having non-electronic methods gives you a fallback that can't be jammed, tracked, or taken offline. Inside, this shows up in real-world scenarios more than people think. Convoy movement, low visibility conditions, dense terrain where to communicate visually or through pre-planned actions keeps things smooth without relying entirely on tech. It's a redundancy that makes your setup more capable, not more complicated. Because at the end of the day, communication isn't just about talking. It's about understanding. And the more you rely on systems that can fail, the more important it becomes to have systems that don't. Because when everything goes quiet, the ones who can still coordinate are the ones who stay in control. And as always, thanks for coming by. Stay prepared and stay safe.